Spoilers, Bannings and GP Vegas. Yep, it's spoiling season, boys and girls. You know what that means, don't you? All your favourite YouTubers are making shed loads of shitty videos saying the same thing about every single card. And then there are the few weaker YouTubers they don't really like, who are also doing the same. But you know me, I fancy myself as a bit of a YouTuber anyway. So welcome to the Circle Jerk, boys and girls. Buckle that seatbelt, you sluts, because Pleasant Kenobi is here to provide you with his opinion on pieces of cardboard. For those of you that don't know me, I'm handsome, bearded, and I smell faintly of apricots. The reason I feel the need to chime in on this spoiler season is because I saw a card that makes my penis literally explode with the heat of 1,000 overly excited suns. It's Crucible of Worlds on legs. Ramunap Excavator is a 2/3 for 3 in green that allows us to play lands from our graveyard. For any of you that know me, or even follow the channel loosely, you'll know that I'm a big fan of cards like Ghost Quarter, Wasteland, Knight of the Reliquary and Tireless Tracker. This guy seems legit. Whilst Crucible of Worlds will still remain relevant for control decks not looking for the body, or Tron decks looking for the colourless option, Excavator will be better in modern and legacy decks that can afford to play Collected Company, Aether Vial, Chord of Calling or Green Sun Zenith. Personally, I can see myself testing anywhere between 2 and 3 copies of these in Green, White, Death and Taxes, or some form of company deck that I play. I expect to see this guy making some waves on my channel in future, and in modern in general. Just imagine the value of an Excavator, a Zeusa and a Fetch land. It's going to be fucking sweet.
Welcome to the Circus of Value!
Oh, and if you're one of those people I've seen moaning that the value of your Crucible of Worlds might diminish due to the printing of this, do me a favour, sell up all your cards and go play a more lucrative stock market, my friends. Like, perhaps, just for an example, maybe the actual stock market. If keeping the game prohibitively expensive is your primary concern during spoiler season, then you're probably a dickhead. So what about other spoilers? Well, looking over at mythicspoiler.com, we can see that Samet has ascended to Planeswalker status and gained the ability to cast Tooth and Nail in the process. A powerful ult with shit other abilities makes her rather unexciting on the whole. The Godpharaoh himself was spoiled and he is suitably ridiculous. However, in spite of being strong, he struggles to protect himself or do anything on a busy board. Not convinced he'll see a whole lot of play. We got our first non-indestructible god in the shape of the Scorpion King, which is cool, and we got a new contender for Let's Make Cat Tribal a Real Thing in Pride Sovereign. Modern Cat and Taxes are certainly something I will be putting through its paces here on the channel once this set has become legal. So there are some invocations, again, with great art and shit borders, but we all knew that anyway. I think these particular masterpieces have been universally panned, whilst accepted that they look significantly better in the flesh than they do on screen. I just can't get over how bad they actually are though, like how they actually got through a design brief, proof of concept, printing and distribution without someone saying, guys, just wait a minute. These are shit. Most excitingly, we have an entire cycle of defeat cards that shows us each of the 5 members of the Gatewatch being beaten by Mr. Bolus. There is a cool throwback to the art of Cruel Ultimatum in the framing, perspective and shadows within the art. This means that, more than likely, the Gatewatch will lose their fight in the story and may have to fall back to nurse their wounds or recover from a loss. Although I am personally fond of the Gatewatch as a concept, due in part to my huge hulking erection of a superhero fiction and ensemble pieces in general, even I can admit that I was getting a little bit tired already with such a huge focus on them. Hopefully this will give Wizards of the Coast the creative freedom and move forward with newer characters as protagonists, or focus on non-Planeswalker storylines for a few sets. Maybe, finally, we can return to Lorwyn. Please, Wizards, please! Speaking of creative freedoms, Wizards of the Coast made another banning in Standard recently, with Marvel getting the axe. The third set of bans to shake up the format in as much as 6 months. It does beg the question, what the fuck is going on over at Wizards of the Coast? Whilst I can appreciate and respect the balls and cojones it takes to put your hands up on multiple occasions, admit fault, and look to rectify the situation with a straight solution, it does hurt consumer faith in the product. I know people that have had multiple standard decks banned out from under them. Hell, Teo, one of the members of my entourage that I effectively call the Super Friends, has had Bloom, Twin, Miracles, and now Marvel banned out from under him, the poor bastard. For just $500 a month, you too could buy into a format with no sense of certainty and be stung by Wizards of the Coast's incompetencies. And finally, did anyone see the results from GP Vegas this month? Fuck me, it was exciting. Firstly, a very straightforward and relatively stock-close Death and Taxes took the first place in the legacy portion of the tournament, piloted by an Andrew Calderon from Miami. The list isn't spicy at all, but part of me feels both happy and extremely proud to see a traditional recruiter list putting in some work, after myself spending too much time trying to innovate recently and getting fucked for it. But further to this, 2 players managed to put white winning archetypes into the top 8 of the modern event. Both Theo Merry and the mighty Craig Wesco made it, Merry on a spicy mono-white Death and Taxes list, while Wesco was on the green-white plan. Quite frustratingly, Merry's deck has been dubbed by Wizards of the Coast themselves as mono-white hate bears. This feels so wrong on so many levels, I just don't know where to start. Where is your respect for the history of the game that you make, Wizards? Mary played a rather eccentric looking singleton in the form of Weathered Wayfarer. I haven't had a chance to catch up and watch his games yet, but Wayfarer has been on the Sources forums as a suggested card for many moons, as a way to fetch up the necessary utility land like Ghost Quarter, and I'm glad to see it return into a list that's done well. The Singleton Revoker is also quite spicy, and a concession to the need to neuter infinite mana, infinite damage combos like that from Counter's Company. Traditionally, Revoker has been seen as a no-go in Modern when compared to Legacy due to a higher prevalence of creature removal in the format. However, the effect has spiked in power levels recently with the advent of more combos and less interactive decks, and higher adoption of rates of cards like Ballista, Basilisk Collar, and Batterskull. Wesco's list I am comfortable with calling Hate Bears. It plays the traditional 4x Locks and Smiter, looking to beat up on the hand disruption of the format Bogeyman Death Shadow. This is more like the Hate Bears we know that look to bully other mid-range green-black decks, and it looks like it has a good time against Death Shadow as well. There is no Flicker Wisp either here, which scares me a little bit, as that's the bit of D&T that I like so much, as it always feels like the out that I need. That said, in a format where Lingering Souls is more prevalent than ever, a 3/1 flyer does become far, far worse. The Singleton's Valorous stance is super spicy in the board, whilst the reduction to 2 Thardo allowing him to maximise Collected Company draws is something I might try of my own in my own builds. Either way, I will look to put these lists through their paces in some leagues and see how it goes online, and I'm super happy to see Wesco fighting the good fight and putting up results with Thalia, Cat Jesus and the Vials. That's all I've got for this week's info dump. I hope you enjoyed all that being shit directly into your open mouths like a mother hawk feeding her nest. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video and drop me a comment, because I love to engage with you guys on topics like how hard my penis is right now. And don't forget to share the video where you can. Every time you share this video, Cat Jesus does a little dance, so keep that Jesus dancing.